So we are going to be getting up and getting our acceleration here with the CX-50. Wow. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're going to be going over the 2023 Mazda CX-50. Before we get into the video though, I do want to give a massive shout out to the Southtown Mazda here in Utah for giving me some time with the CX-50. Check out the inventory in the description down below. They don't charge over MSRP for any of the new Mazda models, so if you want to buy a Mazda at sticker and not pay any premium, they're the dealership to go to. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into the video. So under the hood, we have a turbocharged 2.5 liter four-cylinder that goes through a 6-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 23 around town and then 29 on the highway, with power outputs being 227 horsepower and then 310 pound-feet of torque. Just like other Mazda cars with this powertrain, if you put premium in it, you do get 250 horsepower, and that's under the hood. Now let's go over the front end of the CX-50. Now I want to go over the headlights before they pop off, just in case they're timed. Other Mazda models are, that's why I'm mentioning that. Notice you've got the projector bulb super bright, and then you can see the high beam is actually right next to it, which is pretty cool, just how they're stacked next to each other. There you go, it is timed. I love the accenting around the lights. Now this is in the polymetal gray metallic, which I think is a really cool looking color. They have another one that's in the sandstone color. I can't remember the exact name on it, sorry. I'm just a casual, but I think that looks cool as well. Anyways, popping back to our CX-50, you can see here with the grille how it's all blacked out. You got the Mazda logo, camera there just down below the logo, parking sensors on the front end, and then I love the accenting here off to the side. That looks really cool with the venting, and then the silver there at the bottom. And yeah, overall, it's really good looking, especially in person. Yeah, I love it. Now coming around the side here, we've got two 45mm tires wrapped on 20-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you see the design on the wheels. Notice we've got the silver on the top, and then you guys can see the black beside that, and it looks really cool from an aesthetic perspective. And then here's a quick look at what you can see with the front suspension, then also on the tires. And then notice here with the fender flares how those are massive and prominent, and then the cladding down the side. Again, this is supposed to be off-road oriented. That's kind of what they're going with the CX-50. And you can see here with the mirrors, so those are blacked out, and then the rails there at the top, finished in silver, and then you got a little piece of silver accenting there. And then here's your side view, and you guys will notice, just with how this looks from an aesthetic perspective, it looks very similar to the CX-30, and that's because this is a stretched out CX-30. This is not based on the same platform as the CX-5. It's on the same platform as the CX-30, but then it's stretched out to be a little bit larger. Now here's our key fob. We got the Mazda logo right here. We've got the lock, the unlock, then the opening here for the hatch. We'll hold that down and wait for it. Bada bing, bada boom. It'll pop right open. And you can see here with the floor mats we have in the back. And then notice here how the seats are folded down. But look, even without the seats folded down, there's tons of storage space back here, which is definitely very practical. And then if we move this whole situation, you can see the spare tire just underneath. And yeah, overall, again, super similar in size to the CX-5, even though they're not based on the same platform, and so storage space is very similar as well. And then just press this and that'll lower down the hatch. Boom. Now let's finish things up here with the rear. So first off, I love the taillights here on the CX-50. Looks super cool. Got the turbo badge down below, and then you can see the CX-50 all-wheel drive badge on the other side. And then those parking sensors down here, and then we've got the dual outlet exhaust tips with the silver trim, and all that together looks fantastic. Something else, look at the hips on this, and then also on the front, notice how the front fender pops out a little bit. It kind of has that like Raptor type appearance, kind of like a wide body appearance on it, and it looks really good, especially from kind of like on camera. It doesn't really pop out as much as in person, but I don't know, I love how it looks. So going over the door panel here, you can see the padding, and then just down below where you rest your arm, you got your window control. And then here are the seats, which are also really cool. I love the stitching design here in the center, and it's perforated on either side. And then notice the piping here on the side as well. And popping in, legroom. Headroom's really solid. Notice we've got some vents here. You've got the heated seats, and then you got the USBs down below. And then you can see a couple of cup holders right here. And, well, let's go to the front. Now here's the front door panel. You can see again with the stitching here and then the trim just up above. The mirrors do have blind spot monitoring, and then all of our padding down below, and then you can see the window controls right here, pretty normal. The mirrors actually do power fold in, and then I love how the speaker is kind of like integrated into all of that. Then here are the front seats, so you can see again, perforated, and you got that cool stitching design, and then the piping off to the side, and then here's a look at the bottom of the seat, and very nicely padded. Adjustments there on the side, pedal layout down below, and then you can see we've got memory seats here. This is for the safety tech camera, parking sensors, traction control, and then I-stop off. We're gonna have to figure that out in a second. Anyways, steering wheel is manually adjustable. Let's pop in. So here is the steering wheel, really nice with the leather trim all around, and then the stitching here in the center portion. This does have adaptive cruise control, and it does have the lane keep assist. We got our volume controls over here. This is for the information in the center. Paddle shifters there on the back for that 6-speed automatic. And then you can see we've got our turn signal light stock, windshield wiper stock. Also, the I-stop off is just for the auto stop start. It's just called I-stop instead of auto stop start. Anyways. Now here's the center gauge cluster. So first off, press the info tab and notice it'll change kind of what the gauge cluster shows. I think that's pretty cool. We do have some drive modes to go through. So notice we have an off-road mode, and I love how it changes the gauge cluster itself, normal, and then our sport. And again, it changes the gauge cluster, how it looks. First time I've seen this in a Mazda, and I'm a fan. I think Mazda did a good job with that. Other than that, they still keep things simple with 3 different like circles, which it looks great. Now popping into the center infotainment system, first off we pop it in reverse. We have a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn the steering wheel. Notice we have that bird's eye view as well. And we've got an off-road camera too. So if you press that view button that we saw earlier, notice it'll pop on with the camera, so it'll give us different viewpoints, which I think is great. Definitely helps out with visibility. And you can press that again, and notice that you can change through the different viewpoints, see different things with the CX-50. As for the rest of the infotainment system, it's easy to use. It's not a touchscreen. It's all controlled via a dial, which is very easy to use, straightforward. And you've got like a home button that you can press all the time in case you get lost. And then like if you want to go straight to the navigation, you got a navigation button. Easy enough. So notice here on the dash, and then notice the padding down below with, again, that cool stitching design. And then we do have dual zone climate controls, heated cooled seats for the front, heated steering wheel. You can see the extra storage here, a couple of cup holders, and we have the shifter for that 6-speed automatic with the drive mode select, parking brake, auto hold, and then you can see here the controls for the infotainment system, and then radio control right next to it. And we have this center console that's kind of interesting, and then you can see in front of it wireless phone charger. I'll open it up so you guys can see that a little bit better. There you go. And then we've got a glove box. It's pretty big. Wow. Yeah, I love how it goes all the way across. That's cool. Look at that. Look at the lines with the trim. That looks nice. Good job, Mazda. And we have a panoramic sunroof. Look at that. We are living the life of luxury in this Mazda. Controls for the sunroof right here. And then we just have a traditional mirror. So here's our window sticker for this 2023 CX-50. Hopefully the camera decides that it wants to focus on the window sticker. But anyways, you got all the standard equipment. Optional equipment on this particular one, and again, this is the Premium Plus package, 2.5 turbo. Cargo mat, I guess. The paint is also an option you can add on this, and then Turbo Premium Plus package is what this one's equipped with. Base MSRP $41,000, total MSRP $43,380, and let's see how this thing drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's the visibility of the hood, and you can now see the heads-up display. Both mirrors, which again have blind spot monitoring. It's cool to see the hips of this car. And then here's throughout the rest of the rear, and they go. Setting off here in the CX-50. And we have 2 miles of range. Perfect, because that's probably how many miles we're gonna drive. Yeah, let's see how this thing handles. I love the steering wheel. Mazda just knows how to make good steering wheels. Smooth, I can tell you that right now. Steering is still amazing in normal Mazda fashion. It's direct. It weights up nicely so you can actually feel what's happening with the front end. I'm impressed so far. Seat comfort's really good. These seats definitely do feel like they're more off-road ready. And I know it sounds weird, but typically in off-road type vehicles, you want a little bit of a firmer seat. You don't want to sink in at all, so that you can kind of like have this nice upright posture. You can see everything that's happening around. And Mazda's definitely taken note and done that with this. We're gonna pop it into the sport mode so that it gets red and aggressive with the gauge cluster. That looks so cool. I love the turn signal's hollow there in the center too. With the screen, that's also another nice little feature. It's punchy. This turbocharged engine is punchy, let me tell you. Too bad we're behind a Chevy Spark that goes 2 miles an hour. Cool, they are turning. Hopefully they're turning into this parking lot and not into the other thing. Yes, thank goodness. Transmission's really solid too. Like the response time on it's great, actually. And coming up to a stop here. Yeah, braking's good. Yeah, I like how this drives so far. Again, like I said, the handling's great, seat comfort's great. Okay, so we are going to be getting up and getting our acceleration here with the CX-50. Wow. You can hear a little bit of blow off. Yeah, it's, I mean, just like other Mazdas with this powertrain, it's quick. It feels the same as the CX-5. It doesn't feel any slower. It doesn't feel any faster. It feels like it's... Ooh, the blow off too. Yeah, it's like the same. Taking another turn here. And handling's great too. That's another big plus. Sorry, I gotta do the sun visor, guys, because I cannot see a thing. But yeah, let's get into setting things up here with the CX-50. So first off, from an exterior perspective, I love this. This is my favorite looking Mazda now. The CX-5 was the prior one, or a Mazda Miata, but I think this one's my favorite one. With the hips and everything, it's such a good looking vehicle. And I'll suffer so you guys can have a little bit better visibility over the hood with the video. Steering's amazing. I mean, it drives like a Mazda. This feels like it's tough. So like this is supposed to be like more of an off-road version of the CX. Well, like I said, it's not built on the same platform as the CX-5, but it's supposed to be like an off-road version of the CX-5 basically, but not at the same time because it's built off the CX-30, and that 911 GT3 is extremely loud. The point that I'm trying to make though is this, to me, feels like just an improvement on the CX-5. Now pricing, right, this is, I mean, it seems like this is a little bit more expensive than a CX-5, a little bit, but other than that, like that's kind of what this is. It's better looking than the CX-5. The interior's about the same. It's got some cool elements again with like the stitching. I love that. And then panoramic sunroof. So yeah, it's basically just that's the way I look at this. Is again, yeah, it does have that kind of like off-road aesthetic to it. That's what they're going for. But I guess me being a practical person, that's kind of what this looks like to me. Is this looks like a really nicely improved CX-5. I know that might upset Mazda by me saying that, but I still think it's a great car. That's gonna sum things up for our video on this 2023 Mazda CX-50. It's so weird to say 2023, this is crazy. Anyways, a huge shout out and thank you to the Southtown Mazda here in Utah. Like I said, if you wanna buy a new Mazda with no markup over MSRP, they're the dealership to go to. I'll see you guys.